Yo, 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 crypto friends, how's it going? Hope y'all are having a great day, staying healthy. Nelson here. I'm going to talk about Kaspa's tokenomics, emission schedule, and the impact of mining and Asics coming onto the market. We've already seen our servers KS0 hit the market, and we're going to see the other KS1, 2 hit the market soon. Bitmain's also going to release their ASIC pretty soon. They plan on August, but hopefully that's delayed, which is pretty typical for them for ASIC mining. So first, let's go over the emission schedule a little bit. This is particularly why I don't think we'll see a huge price down because of the ASICs. So the first phase, we have the pre-deflationary phase, which is this began the mainnet start November 7th, 2021, and ended on May 8th, 2022. The reward rate was first randomly in a range of 1 to 1,000 Kaspa per block for the first two plus weeks, and then was replaced with a constant reward rate at the first hard fork of 500 Kaspa per second. Since the block rate was also 1 per second, the reward was 500 Kaspa per block. This stage lasted for 6 months. And after 6 months, we hit the chromatic phase after the pre-deflationary phase. The chromatic phase block rewards dramatically decrease over time based uniquely on a musical 12-note scale. The initial block reward was 440 Kaspa. The block rewards have once per year, but smoothly, every month the block reward is reduced by a factor of 0.95 is what this equals to. It's a little confusing, but it equals 0.95. The ratio of the block rewards in consecutive months is the same as that of frequencies of 2 consecutive semitones in a tempered chromatic scale. The initial block reward is a frequency of the note A4, and every average year is called an octave. Here, a year or an octave is 365.25 days in a month, where semitone is precisely 1/12 of a year. So here's a graph of the emission schedule. So you can see basically Kaspa made it so the majority of all the Kaspa is going to be mined within the first couple of years, first 2 years. We've already hit a year and a half if the mainnet launched in November of 2021. So we've already gotten pretty far in this emission schedule. January 1st, 2023, they already had over half of Kaspa mined. January 1st, 2024, they plan to have 76% of Kaspa mined. And so in about 6 months, we should see about 76% of Kaspa mined. Right now, I think we're sitting at 67.18% if CoinMarketCap is accurate, which is about 19 billion, 283 million. So if we look over here on the emission schedule as well, this is really important to look at. You'll see here's the first 6 months with the 500 block reward. This is when we hit the second stage at 440. And you can see every month after this second phase started, every month they're cutting a good amount of blocks. And here we are, we're just right before this 21st one here, which is set to be July 8th, which we're pretty close to it. That's pretty accurate as far as they're concerned. And you can see at this point, we're dropping about 12 Kaspa every month, and then it goes to about 10 Kaspa. But you can see in about a year from now, the block reward is going to be halved. So we're getting a halving every year, but they're calculating the amount of that halving every month, which is important for the ASICs. Block rewards are dropping dramatically. Just because there's more ASICs on the market doesn't mean there's going to be more Kaspa printed. It doesn't mean there's going to be more Kaspa minted. Basically, the miners are all going to be fighting over a certain amount of blocks that are going to be minted, and they're all going to be fighting over it. So GPUs are going to be completely irrelevant because ASICs are just going to be too efficient for any GPU to be profitable at all. So we're looking at January 1st, 2025, there'll be about 87% of Kaspa mined, which is kind of crazy actually, that merely 2 years, a year and a half, that 87% of Kaspa will be mined. And then July 10th, 2026 will be about 95% Kaspa mined. Now that's 3 years away, guys. I mean, and that's going to put us at the percentage of Bitcoin is mined currently. I think it's around 95%. So in just a mere 3 years, they're going to catch right up to the amount of supply. It's already in circulation within 3 years, which is huge because I think that's going to affect the price a lot too. And at this point, there's 70% already mined and in circulation, which means there's only 30% left for these ASIC miners to even potentially accumulate and sell. So you're only considering about 30% sell pressure over the next 3 years, potentially. As stated above, the emission rewards are based on time, which means that the rewards are by Kaspa per second and not Kaspa per block, which is important because obviously they're going to go 10 blocks per second and potentially up to 32 blocks per second, which people would think that that's going to up the amount of Kaspa being rewarded, but it's not because they're doing Kaspa per second and not Kaspa per block. So therefore, the rewards will stay on course even as the block rates change, which is really important too. This is so. I also want to go over Kaspa planned for this to happen. Kaspa knew that Asics were going to be a part of the network. They knew it was going to be important to secure it and to scale it. And a short emission schedule and fast deflationary rate were designed to address the issue of ASIC dominance. So they knew it. And since ASICs are on a network are ultimately unavoidable, most of the circulation will be minted by the time ASICs appear, which is true. I mean, we've already got 70% in circulation. So, I mean, 70% of people at this point are, if you're holding, I mean, you have 70% holding. That's pretty good, even with ASICs hitting the market. Furthermore, a high blocks per second and transactions per second together create a low hardware entry barrier, both for pools and solo miners. If ASICs eventually emerge, the fraction of the network one would need to hold to see ROI is extremely smaller than required in Bitcoin. If Kaspa reaches Bitcoin proportions, it would still be possible to see a monthly block holding just a few ASICs. This privilege will not be reserved for huge pools and farms. So bottom line, with the emission schedule, the way it is, and Kaspa realizing that ASICs were going to come on the network, they are needed for scalability and for security. As much as everyone doesn't want to talk about that, it's something that kind of has to happen. Especially if you want to see the blocks per second and all those things going on. So let's look at the emission schedule a little bit more. So in about a year, we're going to see only about 100 blocks, 100 Kaspa per block. And that's pretty amazing. And then about a year after that, it's going to be about 50, right? It's going to have every year. And that's, dramatically decreasing very quickly every year, as opposed to Bitcoin, which halves every 3 to 4 years, 3.5 years or so. So this is why I don't think ASICs will be able to put enough sell pressure on Kaspa, because there's already so much Kaspa in circulation, guys, and we have to realize this. All right, it's 76% right now, and we're going to see that only go up. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for today. It's the information I have. Why I think Asics won't be dumping the price of Kaspa, but we'll be watching through this fall to see if we do see a price dip. I don't know that we'll ever see below 0.15 again based on the chart. But if we do see that levels, I think it's just a great time to buy. And that as things go on, we're not going to see that great sell pressure because there's just not as many Kaspa being printed. It's deflationary at this point. The rewards are cut so fast, guys. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day.